When it comes to DC, one of the most iconic heroes on their roster has to be Batman. His cape, his name, and his iconic bat symbol are something we all think of the moment we hear the name of Gotham. But what does that bat symbol really mean? Is it tied to his fears? Or maybe it's about who he wants to become? Well, issue 4 of Absolute Batman takes a deep dive into all of that. So if you're curious, stick around and find out why the bat became the ultimate symbol for Gotham's Dark Knight. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. The story so far in Absolute Batman. The Absolute universe of DC in general is built upon this whole new approach to classic DC superheroes. We're supposed to see the characters in like a more grounded way, which I think works really well, and given how the Absolute universe is structured, you get a cohesive story in just a volume. So it's a very self-masterpiece coded, if you get what I'm trying to say. In the Absolute Batman comic series, we get to see a new, different backstory for Batman. The first 3 issues are told from the perspective of Alfred Pennyworth, who, this time around, is not a butler but a soldier of fortune. He was sent to Gotham, much to his chagrin, by his contractor, who needed him to keep an eye on this rising gang of troublemakers known as the Party Animals. To call them troublemakers would be a gross understatement, as these are cold-blooded killers. However, when Alfred showed up in Gotham, he saw another player that he was not expecting in the mix, Bruce Wayne. Bruce, in this universe, is the son of a teacher and a social worker. Even though he has the intellect of a genius and the body of a fighter, he basically works menial jobs. But Alfred soon figures out that Bruce is actually prepping for something bigger, something better. He finds out that all the menial jobs that Bruce has been doing are actually a ploy to learn Gotham inside and out. In the 4th issue, however, we get to see Bruce's backstory in detail, and how he ended up becoming the Absolute Batman, as well as how the bat plays a role in his journey. Trauma to triumph. Why bats? The 4th issue is centered heavily around Bruce's childhood. Here, we see him discussing a youth engineering contest with his father. The theme of the contest was to design a bridge for animals who are stuck in a distressed environment. However, there was a little catch to it. The bridge design also had to reflect the core of the animal that was chosen. At first, Bruce chose bats because he wanted to make the bridge intimidating. Thomas saw the bridge and told Bruce that since the bridge is supposed to be helpful, it shouldn't be scary. This thought changed the way Bruce was looking at the project. While he started looking about the project in a different light, he still kept the bat theme. This is something we see in Bruce even today, as he traverses the streets of Gotham as the Dark Knight. In the end, Bruce ends up designing a bridge that is multi-use. It's like an origami bat when it's not unraveled completely. It's aerodynamic and lightweight, much like the animal it's based on. Bruce created this bridge thinking of just how versatile the bats are. Bats are extremely adaptable creatures. They're literally the only mammals that can fly, and they have several unique species amongst mammals other than rodents. With its flight, sonar, and intelligence, bats manage to get through anything and everything they're put in. That's why Bruce designed a bridge that can be used for help, offense, as well as defense. This bridge ended up winning him the first prize in the competition. To celebrate that, Thomas took Bruce and other kids in his class to the zoo. This celebratory trip ended in tragedy when Thomas was gunned down by Joe Chill. In one of the scenes in an earlier issue, we find out that Officer Gordon actually found Bruce covered in bats at the scene. Although at first the sequence comes off as something out of a nightmare, with Gordon's confirmation, I think this incident actually left a huge mark on Bruce. Since this version of Bruce does not have the wealth that we usually associate with Dark Knight, we see him adapt to the best of his capabilities, just like a bat. My favorite thing in the 4 comic book issues has to be when Bruce drops a concentrated vinegar pill in the saltwater pool where the party animals were standing to turn it into hydrochloric acid. That was so friggin' cool I lost my mind. I believe that the last time Bruce ever made his dad proud and happy was because of the whole bat bridge thing. That's why the bats mean so much to him. Also, the core of the bats, their resilience, their adaptability, etc. really does mean a lot to Bruce, as I believe that was the only way he could take that traumatizing memory and turn it into something positive. Furthermore, Batman is literally the god of improvisation, if I do say so myself. He's the one guy who stops the bad guys without thinking about how he does it, because he just doesn't care about the how. Bats are just like that. This flexibility is definitely something Bruce had to accept from the bats in order to become the Dark Knight that we know him as. Marvelous verdict. The 4th issue of the Absolute Batman was created by Scott Snyder, Nick Dragotta, and Gabriel Hernandez Walta, with Frank Martin and Clayton Coles. Gabriel Hernandez Walta was a guest artist for this issue, and the way he portrays the early suit of Bruce when he's starting out his journey as Batman is just impeccable. It looks strange and rugged, because it should be that way. The first Batman suit is off-kilter and unusual, and that's why Bruce decided not to use it again. With his masterful strokes, Hernandez managed to bring that to life. The issue ends with Batman accepting the deal of the party animals' leader, which begs the question, how would this help him win the war that the party animals have been waging against Gotham? He is the hope that Gotham needs, and I can't wait to see how the next issue portrays his journey. If you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone!